Good evening, everybody. This is Dan, casting from Leicestershire on behalf of Makers Academy. We are live for graduation for the remote class of April 2016. So these guys have just gotten to the end of a grueling 12-week course. They have been learning the very all the intricacy ins and outs of software development. So 12 weeks ago, they logged on for the first time to join us on a remote class. And since then, they've been learning the principle of craftsmanship. And now they have graduated, and they have produced some rather amazing apps, which we're going to be showcasing here. So first of all, I just wanted to give a general shout out to the class, because I feel that what they have undertaken, which is an extremely intensive full-time course, which is challenging at the best of times, these have actually taken it to the extreme. We have people logging in from Australia, from Asia, from America, and you have all kinds of ridiculous times of the day and night, communicating with people across different time zones, different cultural divides, and getting together in an incredibly disciplined way to basically to learn to code. Our career is very much based on peer-led learning, which means that it's super important that everyone is on board with the learning process, that everyone is encouraging and participating and pushing each other forward and forward. And that's something that I've really seen with this cohort more than I've maybe ever seen in a previous cohort. So it was truly, truly impressive the way that these guys have gelled together, and I'm super proud to see them graduating right now. Cool. So what we're going to do now is we are going to introduce our first team. I can see that they are beginning to log on. So this is Team Docracy, who are now entering the channel. We're just waiting for one more. There we go. There is Rich. So Rich is going to talk us through their app. So without any further ado, I shall hand over. Rich, it is over to you.
Okay, so I think Grig's actually going to start us off.
Yes. We're Team Docracy. From left to right, my name is Victorious. I'm currently in the UK. How come I'm hearing echo? Oh, that was weird. Okay. Next is Nick from the United States, and then Richard, who also lives in the UK, and Chris from Sweden. Okay. The problem we are trying to solve is online communities are moving away from a hierarchy in favor of networks, while the real world is lacking this aspect regarding project management and creations. So in order to solve this problem, we wanted to create a GitHub for projects and creation. So next page. So we want to decrease the bureaucracy regarding project management and creations, also increase community participation, collaboration, and decision making, similar to GitHub and how you work in an open source environment. But also enables can enable companies or Kickstarters to show transparent budgeting to their people who have kickstarted something regarding them. So I'll pass it on to Richard, who will show how our app works.
Okay, so we're just going to visit the page like a normal user. Basically like what they see, so they decide to sign in. We decided to implement a sign in with Facebook just to make it easily accessible to everybody. We also implemented our own search bar where you can search for keywords in the descriptions, in the titles, or in a location. So that user decided that there's nothing they like in their area, so they're going to create their own project. So you create your own project with a title, a description, and then a rough budget that you're going to spend in that project. And then you can also upload an optional photo, and you can include a street name, a city, and obviously the country, which shows up on Google Maps. We've implemented there. So once you're in a project, you can join a team, or this person's creating a team. So that team has a name and has a description. And then in true open source fashion, once you've joined a team, you can then add any budget item to that, you can also delete any budget item. So we're just going to demonstrate 2 teams being made and 2 budgets being populated. So then you can see how we've actually done a graphic to compare with the overall project budget. And you can see there's 2 teams showing up there. So here on our project budget, you can see that we've got 2 different teams coming in under budget, and we've also got a pie chart comparing where those teams, or how much money is allocated to each team. So then there can be discussions about where the money is going. It can be open and honest. If you click on My Projects, you can see that you've got the projects that you're in and also the teams that you're on. You can edit any projects you've made, so they've gone for a more descriptive title, but you can edit anything. Update that, and it shows up in the search. If you look on your profile, you've got your projects there. You can also add an introduction, particular skills you've got, and a bit of a bio. And that is Docracy. So I'll pass you on to Nick now, who's going to talk about what we're going to try to implement in the future.
So the 4 of us had a really good time building this app and believe that it could actually help fill a void in the project management realm. So we plan on continuing the project, maybe on part-time or whenever we have a chance, to help add a few more improvements that we think could help with the productivity of projects while still maintaining the true open source mentality that's basically the foundation of this project. We would like to see some PayPal integration to help, or some sort of local crowdfunding, something to help with automatic accounting of receipts when something's tagged. We would like to add some private or secret projects, so you could help or do a project that you don't want everyone to participate in. And we'll add some to-do lists to the projects or teams, a budget voting to keep a democracy sort of type of voting structure, a map search and an inventory so we can keep track of all the different tools or items that's used throughout the project, and that way there's no overlapping of purchased items and stuff of the sort, and then eventually bring it to the mobile realm and build an app or just a website. And then Chris will talk about the XP values that we've dealt with.
Yeah, thank you, and hello world. So I'm going to talk to you about the XP values, the extreme programming values, which is a way to, try to have a culture in a team when you're programming. So we split them up into these different core categories, and I'm going to talk about a few of the more important bullet points. So we were speaking continuously, not just about what's specifically want to do now, but evolving the idea of it, and that was really nice. It made the project a lot better. The second point is we had a very good quality assurance process. Thank you for the clicking, and a special shout out there for Greg, who taught us a lot about how to do that well. And then we celebrated our milestones and our small achievements, and when someone did something as a team, and that added a lot of energy, and I think that's what made the project fun. Finally, looking at our differences, like how we pay attention to detail or abstractions, for instance, and take those differences not as a communication, but some core strength for the team, really worked out for us well as well. And with that, if you want to find out more, check us out on GitHub or on Heroku, and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you very much, Jason of Docracy. So whilst they're going to be switching over, we're going to have Team Flash coming on now. I just want to talk a little bit about the XP values there that were mentioned by the Docracy team. XP stands for Extreme Programming, and it basically is a collection of values and principles and practices to help software teams produce well-crafted, malleable so this, at Makers Academy, we basically live by these values, and so it's really nice to see that being exhibited in our students as well. So I can see that we have now a couple of members of Flash are logging in. So Flash is an app for the iPhone. It has been written in Swift. I'm going to let them talk to you about the specifics. But what is particularly impressive is that these guys who are logging on right now have 2 weeks ago never coded in Swift at all. We do not teach or instruct Swift on Makers Academy in any way, shape, or form. But 2 weeks ago, these guys were courageous enough to say, "I'm going to do it," and here they are to talk about it. So I'm going to pass over to Amy. So you have the screen now, Amy. Take it away, guys.
Okay, welcome to Team Flash. So we've all been there. Someone takes a photo of you when you weren't expecting it. They show it to you, and oh my, is that actually what I look like? You need to retake that immediately. Oh no, that one's even worse. What is wrong with my face?
Amy, you need to share your screen.
Amy, sorry, you need to share your screen. Sorry, or Dan needs to show it. I don't know.
Take
Is that
two.
better? Is that better?
That's perfect. Go on.
Okay. So we'll just flick to where I was. So that one is even worse. Maybe it's the angle. If I tilt my head to the left more, it might look better. Let's try again. After the 30th retake, you've stopped having fun. You're feeling self-conscious and you vow never to go near a camera again. But what if taking photos didn't need to be like this? What if there was an app which didn't take previews or retakes? An app where you capture and send the photo with just one swipe? Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is such an app. And that app is called
Flash, savior of the universe.
Okay. So, in order to implement all of the user interactions that we wanted to get across, we needed to develop a mobile app, as Dan said earlier, and we went native with Apple iOS. This meant that we needed to learn Apple Swift and use Xcode, which is their integrated development environment, neither of which we had any experience of prior to this project. So it's quite clear that we had quite a steep learning curve to achieve in quite a short amount of time. For the back-end side of things, we went for a service which is called Parse, and this meant that Parse could deliver for us our database, our storage, user logins, and also Apple push notifications. We also decided to implement cloud hosting to store some of the code, part of the code, which was the interactions with the database. This meant that we could stop user interaction with the back end. Obviously, whilst implementing all of these things together, we learned a lot of lessons along the way. So I'm going to hand over to Sergio to tell us about those lessons.
So the first lesson was that simpler is better. We could have been caught in the complexity with all these new technologies for us, Xcode, Swift, iOS. However, from the beginning, the team adopted a keep it simple mentality, and that helped us tremendously to go through the final of the project and complete it successfully. Another key lesson was communication. The team was communicating all the time in an open and honest way, with respect to each other, and we were having loads and loads of fun. So that translated into an extreme productivity. We were all pulling together, working very hard, but we made it through. But perhaps the biggest learning point is that the realization that as individuals, we wouldn't have been able to design and code an app like Flash in 10 days. But as a team, we were able to, and that is a fantastic Flash in the teamwork realization. So let's take a look at how Flash works.
So I am Ollie. I'm opening the app on my phone here, and then I'm going to log in with my username, which is Ollie, and my password. If I forgot my password, I could click on the Forgot Password link below, which would take me to a reset page, but I log in successfully. And now I'm going to click in the top left corner the settings cog, which takes me to a follow screen. From here, I can follow any user who's signed up to the app. So I'm going to follow Chris. I type his name in, and I tap follow, and I've successfully followed Chris. Now we're in Chris's phone. He's logged in, and he's going to start preparing a flash, which he's going to send. So he types in a caption, and then when he's ready, he's going to swipe right on the home screen, which is the full screen camera. That takes the flash, saves it with the caption, and sends it to all the people who are following him, including me. So we go back now to my phone. I'm logged in again. I click on the lightning bolt at the top, which pulls in the flashes I haven't seen yet. I've got a new flash. The lightning bolt goes yellow, and I can now swipe left, which I'm going to do about now. And I pull in the flash that Chris sent, and it disappears, and I'm never going to see that again because I've already seen it. Now we're going to go into Amy's phone. She's logged in. She's preparing another flash that she's going to send. She types in a caption. Amy's going to adjust the position of this caption on the screen so that it doesn't get in the way of the picture that she's taking. She can put it anywhere on the screen, and she can take landscape pictures as well as portrait. She's flashing now by swiping right just there. Now we go back to my phone. Now we see I get a notification here because Sergio has flashed. I'm following Sergio. Therefore, I automatically get a notification. So I open the app. That triggers it to pull in flashes that I haven't seen yet. I've got some new flashes in. The lightning bolt's yellow. I swipe left, and there's a flash from Sergio, and I swipe left again, and I get the flash from Amy.
Great, thank you. So Flash has now actually been approved by Apple for beta testing. So we are ready and waiting to receive your flashes. Just send an email to flashapp@gmail.com, and Apple will send you the app to download and try. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Team Flash, for the demonstration. Also switching over the team, I wanted to talk a little bit about graduates. Our graduates come from all walks of life. As I mentioned before, they come from all over the world. I think 4 different continents just in this. We're highly selective at Makers Academy. So in order to even apply for this, they've gone through quite a grueling application process. We finally selected it down to the final number, so they can be very proud to get this far, and they can now really consider themselves to be trained software craftspeople. Cool, so we have our next app. It looks like we just lost one from the connection. Okay, there we go. So this is Team Motivation, and presenting for Team Motivation we have Maria. So Maria, you have the screen now. Take it away, Maria.
Oh, hello guys. I'll be introducing our team of motivation with Lexi, myself, Robin, and Maria. Our app is based on the psychological principle of WOOP. Maria, can you move to the next slide, please? Thank you. So WOOP is the idea that if you frame your goals in a certain way, you're more likely to have the motivation to achieve them. So first you identify a wish, say that I want to lose weight, and then you identify the outcome, the thing that you really want to have. Say, I'll be more healthy and confident. And then along this road, you'll be met with all sorts of obstacles, like there's unhealthy food in plain sight, or you have no time to exercise. And then you develop plans to tackle these obstacles, like removing chips and cookies from your shopping list.
Letienne, we seem to have some problems with the broadcast. We're not able to hear you very clearly. Are you able to increase your bandwidth somehow? Do you have anything else running in the background that you can switch off?
I've switched off Zoom and everything.
Could be maybe your microphone. Maybe just have a couple of minutes to see if maybe the microphone again. It sounds like it could actually be a microphone issue. I know that it was working fine earlier, but we can't really understand what you're saying right now. If you want to have a bit, see if you can get that working. Otherwise, maybe if one of your teammates wants to explain what is going on. Any joy, Letienne?
Is this better?
Sounds exactly the same to me. Cool. Maybe if somebody else is able to take over this section of the presentation and give that a go.
Is this better?
Still sounds the same. How about, can you do it without a microphone? Hello, Letienne. Hello, hello.
Can you hear me better now?
Still breaking up.
Shall I just do your bit, Letienne?
Yes, please.
Yeah? Okay. So the idea of Whoop is applicable to many different people. So it's basically a system that could be utilized by both all different age groups, people with ADHD, and the idea was that we can use the app. We wanted to build something that was platform agnostic. So basically, we make a Rails API as a backend, and then that can communicate with other systems such as iOS apps, Android apps, and also desktop apps. And they all communicate with a database server. And now Maria will show the video of how our app works on the front end.
I'll share the video now. Everybody, my name is Maria, and I'll be showing you a little demo about our motivation app. So as soon as you visit the website, you're directed to the login page. This user has already registered on the website, so we just sign in successfully. You're taken to all the wishes page, but I'm going to show you first how to add a wish. So let's say I have the aspiration of learning Spanish. So I add the outcome would be that I can speak with my friends. And I'm going to add the wish. I can then go to your wishes and have a look at all the wishes I've created for myself. You can edit wishes, delete wishes, and you can add obstacles to those wishes. You can see there, as well as edit and delete obstacles. So for this particular wish, the Learn Spanish, I'm going to add an obstacle. The obstacle is that I don't have time to study. And the plan is to study 20 minutes every day. And then I submit the obstacle. I can then look at the obstacles, and that's it. We also have a strict features which keeps tracks of how successful you've been with your plan. So let's say, yes, today I did spend 20 minutes learning. So yes, I was successful. I submit it. And then when I go back onto it, I can see that yesterday I was successful. So if I keep on doing that, it will keep on adding success to the days. You can, you're not able to see other people's wishes, and that's thanks to the authentication system we're using. If I show you quickly, I can then log out, try to log in again with a different user, and I shouldn't be able to see the wishes that we just saw. So this is one completely different user. This is thanks to our authentication system, which is back in the API. It's a token-based one. So basically, when the user logs into the page, the client, which is a browser, sends a request to the server asking for data. The server checks that the user is registered on the server, and it responds successfully with the data that was requested and a token. That token is assigned to that user, and it's saved on their local storage computer, which makes it safe. And then every time the client needs to request another, make another request, that token will be attached to that request. The server will get the token, check that it's correct, and send the information again. And it's a circle that goes on and on and on with, and that's how we authenticate users. Thank you, guys. I'm going to pass you now to my colleague, Robin.
Hey, everyone. I'm Robin. I'm going to be reflecting on our learning experience that we had over the last 2 weeks. Basically, we were very ambitious with our project design. We wanted to try and make something we'd never tried before, which was have a separated app which would communicate with each other and transfer data between each other. So this meant that the first week we were delving heavily into the resources online, trying to teach ourselves how this could work. We were successful with this. It was painful, but we got there for the API. However, because of the heavy focus on research through the week, basically we started to realize that we'd lost a lot of our XP values during the week, and our Agile methodology, it wasn't quite as good as what we thought. So we had a really crucial retro at the end of the week. So we all met together and discussed what wasn't working and what needed to be improved for next week to make our progress better. So we laid all the cards on the table, and we decided that we needed to ditch what we were trying to do, which was make a mobile app, which was what our app idea is based around, with notifications. We decided that we just didn't have time to try and learn another language as well as trying to do an API at the same time. So we switched to AngularJS, which we'd had about a week of experience with as well. So we moved to that instead. And in terms of teamwork, we decided, well, we realized that the communication pathways weren't working as well as they could. So we focused on what wasn't working, and we pushed forward into next week, and we really tried to work harder on how we were communicating, giving each other more feedback on how we can do better as a team, and also get back to pair programming to reduce the errors in our code and make sure we were collectively learning. So one of the main problem that we realized and learned from during the week was that we were implementing a lot of technology that we'd only just been exposed to from our learning, and we didn't quite understand it. And because of this, we lost a bit of time thinking that we needed to do more than what we actually needed to, because the technology we were implementing was actually doing a lot of the stuff for us. So moving forward, obviously we've now got a really nice foundation for our motivation app. We have an API that could be anybody could connect to if they wanted to and use our motivation system that incorporates Whoop. So this is a really nice platform now where we can move on to try and create our mobile app as well. And with this, the idea is that you'll be notified when you want to, like a gentle nudge, to try and help you meet your plans. And this will be based on time and location, so that it'll just help you get things done when you struggle to do them usually. And lastly, we'd also like to include a social feature where you'd invite somebody that you'd be accountable to, somebody that you're close to that can see your progress and offer you feedback and encouragement when you need it as well. Okay, so that is our app. After 12 weeks at Makers Academy, that's what we were able to make. And thank you very much, and enjoy your weekend.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you, Robin, Maria, Letian, and Lexi. So fantastic. So whilst those guys are switching over, we're soon going to be, yeah, thank you very much, guys. So we are going to be moving on to talk about an app called Spotter. So Raul and team are going to be logging on. So there was a lot of really great learning there from the motivation app team. They talked about the way that they helped each other as a team to learn so much more in their second week, and that's something that we're really passionate about at Makers Academy, not just software development, but also education. So our course has been designed by industry experts to introduce our students to the most used technologies in today's marketplace, but even more importantly, to equip you with the skills that you need to quickly find a job as a junior developer. And that includes Agile and XP and software craftsmanship that were so well described by Team Motivation. Cool. So it looks like Team Spotter are in the Hangouts. So I'm going to click over to Raul, who's going to be presenting. So take it away, guys.
Thank you, Dan, and good afternoon to everybody who's here. Thank you for coming. I'm Rahul, and I'm joined by Max, Ben, and Ivan. And today we'd like to present our idea, Spotter. Now, the idea behind the platform was that we wanted an app where we could discover photos and images by location, by topic, by tag, anything that was of interest to you. And we also wanted the ability to conduct something called a reverse image search, where you could upload a photo of yourself, or something you liked, and that would then crawl the internet for all related images.
So who might like to use this app? Well, firstly, journalists might want to find images in or around a particular event or relating to a specific news update. Brand managers, marketing managers, and social media managers may want to get some insight into their marketing campaign and the feedback that their customers or subscribers might provide. Celebrities could check whether people are using their personal profile images without their consent. And potentially the app could be used for identity fraud applications by checking whether a customer's image has been used illegally or at locations in a specific area or around the world.
Okay, so this is a simple mock-up of our original design idea that we came up with at the start of the week. The idea being we wanted to have a simple, easy-to-use, single-page web app that allowed our users to make an image search based on location, hashtag, or the image itself, the reverse image search. The results of this would populate some markers on a map based on the location of the image, and then the area below that map would populate the results of the actual image search to the page.
Currently, our primary sources of data are Instagram and Google Maps. Instagram feeds the app with an image feed as well as location and user data. And Google Maps provides location data and the ability to cross-reference images in the locations that they were taken.
We wanted to run our front-end and back-end from different servers, much like Facebook and Instagram. However, due to the lack of support and documentation around cross-server authentication, we made an executive decision to implement a robust and proven approach of serving our single application and API from the same server.
There's also a whole host of features that we'd like to implement in our app in the future, the architecture for which is mostly already there. First and foremost being the reverse image search feature. However, we'd also like to implement an aggregated search feature that would allow us to take the results from multiple search engines like Google and Yahoo and implement the results of that search into our app as well. But for the moment, I think we just want to give a quick demonstration of the app. So if you could just switch to Rahul then.
So, welcome to Spotter. As mentioned before, to start with, just for our MVP, or to get it up into a prototype, we are allowing logging in with Instagram. So I sign in with my Instagram account. And imagine I am a brand manager for a hair salon called Tony and Guy. I've just run a campaign in central London, targeting at young, cool, hip people to try and come into my salons for a nice, lovely haircut. So I want to be able to see what the reach of my advertising campaign is by looking at how many people have actually tweeted or put up pictures on Facebook or Instagram or any sources out there based on what ad I've just put up.
So at the moment, the app works by querying Instagram. You can type in a tag that you want to query into the search bar there, press the relevant button, and that will update the list on the side with all the tags, related tags that Instagram has available. You can click on those and they populate the search bar. However, as a Tony Guy user, perhaps I just want to make a search for images that have been uploaded with the tag Tony Guy and hair, so that I can see all those images with those relevant tags and get an idea of my local client base in the area. So as you can see, that instantly updates the map with some custom markers, which you can hover over and get a blown up view, and zoom in and out on the map to get a closer idea of where those images are actually located.
And if maps aren't your thing, look down below. We display the images in grid format with the user name, location, and any relevant captions or hashtags that the user may have uploaded. If you click into any of the individual images in the section, it takes you to the initial Instagram source.
We have provided the ability to search by location and using advanced and/or search operators. We also load your last search for you in the background so you can continue from where you left from. We would like to note that our app is currently in sandbox mode, therefore constraining us to only 10 users and their last 20 pictures. This is Potter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone, and have a good weekend.
Thanks.
And I think we are back online. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of a technical hitch. Crash laptop. But I think we are back. So I can see some people are starting to log on. Thank you very much for the previous team. That was Spotter. I'm not actually sure if Spotter even managed to finish. Okay, so it looks like we have online now. We have our final project. I'm presenting to you now Makers Invaders. So we will be having Namita who will be presenting. So Namita, the screen is yours. Take it away, please.
Perfect. Hello guys, thank you for being assisting today. First of all, I would like to introduce all my teammates, which are Namita, Omar, and Emma, and I, of course. And with the challenge that it involves, we have dedicated these last 2 weeks to create a 2D game. And why we decided to create this game? Well, basically it's because we are eager of knowledge and we wanted to experiment with new technologies. Also because we wanted to create something that can entertain you and entertain us as we geeks love arcade games. It's honestly, it's been such a fun 2 weeks to develop this game. 2 weeks that are going to be overly explained by my colleagues right now. About the technologies that we
Do you hear me, guys?
Omar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Phaser. Thank you, Sadeh. Phaser is an amazing framework with lots of tools for design and code 2D games. It allows programmers to handle multiple aspects of games such as physics, collision detection, sprite sheet animations, sounds, user inputs, etc. Basically, a phaser game can be described as a state machine with some logic to manage the transition from one state to the other. The first state is root, where we set the properties of the game, such as the canvas and the graphic library used by the browser. The next state is preload, and it is here where we load all the assets that are going to be used during the game, such as the images, the sound, etc. And then we have the main state, which is the one handling the game logic, and it's a loop that is iterating several times per second to create that sensation of movement when the user is interacting with the game. So if the game is over or there is a winner, we just go back to, we restart the main state and the whole process restarts again. So now Namita is going to talk about the evolution of our project. Thank you.
Thank you, Uma. These images shows how we developed our game. 2 weeks ago, we are kind of lost in space. We got an idea to develop Makers Invaders. First, we started understanding how Phaser works with a basic state, group, sprite sheet, etc. And we make show ourselves it was working. So next, we added game logic using what we learned. This image shows how we achieved a good user experience, like we added graphics, sound that attracts user to play, and finally, like, we added more interaction, like when the game is loading or when the game is over. Finally, we deployed our project to the website where user can play and enjoy. Over to Emma.
Thank you, Namita. I am quickly going to talk a bit about the challenges we faced. One of them was we encountered a slight drop in team confidence that we started looking into ES6, which is a new version of the JavaScript language, and we wanted to work with it. But it was a bit challenging venturing into the unknown, so we felt like, yeah, Robin does in this image, I suppose. But our solution to that was to basically just do it. We decided we're going to read documentation online, look at tutorials, help each other out, and just trial and error until we finally succeed. And that actually worked. Our second problem was that code needs to be designed in a good way, right? So you want it to be readable, easily understood by other developers. You want to build something stable and nice that can be easily extended upon in the future. You don't want a spaghetti code or a house of cards. So we were a bit worried using these new technologies how to achieve that, because we don't want to suffer, and Yoda says it will lead to suffering, so then we have to avoid that, obviously. Our solution to that was, basically to apply all the principles we learned from the course. They are the more abstract principles about good code design and good code craftsmanship. And we decided to keep our design process very much alive, and it was a very iterative process during the course of the project, where we sort of figured out we are wiser today than we were yesterday. So let's just trust that gut feeling, and let's not be afraid to delete old code and rewrite it until we have a design that we're happy with. And yeah. To wrap things up, Namita's gonna play a little video that demos the game. And we wanted to add that our biggest takeaway is that we should not be afraid to work with different technologies. We learned how to build a game in 10 days, and then it's using a new library as well as new JavaScript syntax. So yeah, we achieved that by not being afraid, just doing it and helping each other out. Thank you.
Amazing.
Guys, you can test the game in that link that is provided there.
Makers
Enjoy.
Invaders. Thank you.
Cheers.
Sorry guys, did I jump in? Oh, you're good. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Makers Invaders. I definitely recommend for everyone to go on and have a go at playing that game. It really does move incredibly smoothly and fast with great collision detection. it's really a great achievement. So that kind of sums up our final project presentations. Very soon, the Makers Academy on-site graduation is going to be starting in about 15 minutes time. So thank you for watching. These amazing graduates most of them are now looking for work. Some of them have already been hired, so they are being snapped up pretty quickly. But do check out their GitHubs. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Huge congratulations to both graduating cohorts today. They've done an amazing job. So thank you very much for watching. This is Daniel Berquist signing out. Bye-bye.